Coast to
We're
coast.
back.
This is
Coast
a
to Coast
great
podcast.
episode. This is our
It-
prelude to the Halloween special.
this is our build up, and man, Nick went out and he did a thing,
I did a thing
and
all by
I'm
myself,
telling y'all,
dude.
I'm proud of you for one. I hate you for two, but not really. Anywho's, Nick, I'm gonna let you say what happened, man. Everybody knows where I stand on like ghost stories and demons and all that kinds of jazz. I don't play around with that stuff, right?
Well,
I
we were
see that and I'm like, "Phew, gone."
we were wanting to build up to Halloween this year, so we was gonna get. I have a buddy here right in my area I went to school with that does paranormal investigating,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't get a hold of the guy to save my life.
Okay.
So I got the brilliant idea to go, wait a minute, let's go some Facebook paranormal groups. And I joined about three, four of them things, and I did a
As you
little
would.
little video saying this is who I am and I'm looking for some guests or for people to do a little short video of a scary story. If you're out there and you have an awesome scary story or something happened to you, do a little video clip, send it to me. It'll be on the
We'll
next
play it.
episode.
We'll play it. I'll pee my pants.
Well, in one of the groups I
Probably.
posted in, I had this cool dude that commented. He's like, dude, we're totally up for it. It was kind of funny because you know how the one little problem we have with guests is because of the time we have to record because of somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This guy
Yeah,
says,
that's my fault. Sorry. I gotta put my kids to bed,
this
right?
guy
Over
says,
here on the best coast. Thank you.
this guy says, yeah, we can do it as long as it's at least after 8:30 Eastern. I was like, holy shit.
Perfect.
So started messaging him, and here we are. We got him on the
You're
we
like,
got him on the show
you're like,
today.
hey, 8:30 sounds great, but what about 11:30 Eastern? Even better.
He was like, because
Oh,
of what we do, we usually get into bed by 10, but it's okay. We'll do it. Troopers, man.
nice.
Troopers.
Nice. Well, with that said, y'all don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. We're doing some paranormal, I don't want to say interrogating, but interviewing today. Make sure y'all stick around. Head on down to the link tree. Get yourself a run shirt.
Yeah.
Get the run. Go run. Run.
We're gonna get you.
Get the run.
And with
I prefer
that,
walking.
with that, Nick,
Let's
I
do
think you
this.
might. I think you might ought to want to bring them in, buddy.
So, without further ado, we're going to bring in our guests. We have Mark and Andrea with the Spectral Paranormal Investigators.
Nick likes to rub his hands, so now I got two.
That's what I do. I always do that. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not much. Welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
I'm excited.
Brandon's excited.
I'm nervous.
He's
Excited.
nervous.
We'll try to
Nervous.
keep it down.
He's got the Chihuahua bladder going on. He's excited somebody's here.
Right. Right. It's like happy pee.
Chihuahua. Lord have mercy. So real quick, let's just start off. If you guys want to say the names and how long you've been doing this and any little things you want to throw in there quick.
My name is Andrea or Andy, and I really haven't been doing it that long. Only since I met Mark, so we've probably only been doing it about because it wasn't as soon as we met. It was like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been
About 2 years.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, I used to be a part of like different groups. I was never really on a team, but I was the guy that they'd always send in to verify if a place was actually haunted or if there was energies there because of me being a spirit sensitive. When we met, I kind of put that behind me. We weren't really doing much with that, and then we went to Salem and we had some experiences, and then I started thinking to myself, well, she just said this. How would she know that? And I started thinking, and I just came out and asked her. I was like, do you have like ever like weird feelings and stuff that you can't explain? So then she was starting to tell me different things that happened to her when she was younger. And then when we went on our own little tour around the Salem area, she started feeling things at places where I already knew there was like a malevolency to it. And that's when I kind of figured out that she had something. And then we talked about it. And then at that point is when we both said, why don't we take our gifts and use it for something good, and let's investigate and prove life after death and all that. So we formed Spectral Paranormal Investigations.
Nice. So
That's
you
cool.
did do it with you did a little bit of that with other people, you said?
Yeah, I was in it probably about, if I had to give it like year wise, I worked with those teams for about like 5 years, different teams, and then I gave it up because something kind of dark was starting to happen to me, and I was starting to feel things, and something was kind of like following me, I guess you can say. So that was kind of like my way of walking away from it because I really didn't want to get too deep into that. But then, later on in life, here I am at 51 years old, and I said, hey, why not? It's a
What the
good
heck?
time to do it. So, yeah. So, no, this is another thing too. I mean, we saw so many different, like her and I, we like to watch the paranormal stuff and that, and we've seen so many teams faking things, and it really bothered me because it's not a joke. Like the field's not a joke, but you have all these people on YouTube and they're constantly fabricating things and exaggerating, faking their evidence and stuff. Then you have all these debunkers now on YouTube, showing you who are fakers in a nutshell. But we wanted to bring people the true paranormal. We want people to see what real investigations are like and not like these far-fetched things. And we take pride in what we get. We do get a lot of evidence. We do get a lot of communication with the spirits, and like I was telling a couple of people the other day, we build a rapport with the spirits. It seems like every investigation we do, we always walk away, and it's like you feel like you made a friend. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
Interesting.
See, I'm like right where you touched on, felt something, maybe follow me around. For me, that's me. That's like I'm like, nope, I'm done. That's why I don't ever. I've had a few things happen in my life, and I'm like, yeah, GTFO. Like, no, I'll pass. Thank you very
Oh, we
little.
definitely
I'm
we definitely
good.
bring shit home. Like we do bring stuff home, and it's a
See,
part of
that's
what
the
we do.
scary part for
It
me,
is.
man.
Like I was telling you guys the other day, we've had situations here where we're sitting here watching a movie, and then we'll see like shadows walking in our kitchen.
Nope, I'm done. Nope.
Yeah, we see like orbs and stuff in our house, and then
Yep.
she'll
Oh,
be
the
in bed.
candles.
Yeah, and the candles automatically light up by themselves and stuff like that.
We
And
have,
then
well, it's not real candles. I
Yeah.
bought the Harry Potter floating candles for the ceiling for Halloween.
Yeah,
And
the
when I
ones that you
wake
can
up
wave
in
the
the
wand and turn
morning,
them on and off, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I woke up in the morning, every time I go to the kitchen, there's a different candle lit, and I didn't light any of them.
Yeah.
That's kind of
And
like
then we
my
have things
radio in the
getting-
kitchen, Brandon.
Nick,
What's that?
No, he's talking
I-
about
I had a house I lived in for a while when I was doing property management. It was a big old mansion, it's like 3 story. You could say 4. The attic could have been another 4. And I had a couple of weird things going on in there. Like I was telling Brandon on the top of a kitchen cabinet, because the ceilings are so tall, there was space above them. I had an old radio. We love old radios, like the old vintage. They were all over the house, and a lot of them actually work. And I would leave them just real low on a station, just because I like the ambience of the music.
Mhm.
Well, for about a week or two, I had this thing where I would go in the kitchen and the volume would have been turned way too far down. And it was annoying. I kept saying, "Who's turning the damn? I want it on. Stop doing it." And you got to literally turn the knob. I mean, it's. So one morning I got up, I'm about half asleep. I go down. There's a little room on the side of my kitchen where my Keurig is, and I'm making a coffee. And I look up and I'm like, that damn radio's turned down again. Son of a bitch. So I'm sitting there making my coffee, and all of a sudden, very slowly, the radio volume starts going up.
nope,
Right back.
Yeah, Brandon's like,
And
nope.
I'm like, holy
Nope.
shit.
nope,
Big
I'm
ball,
out.
Nope.
Gone.
That was awesome.
GTFO right there. That's there. Here's your sign.
Made my coffee.
Sure. Like when I was in bed, and this just happened about a week ago, I think it was, and then it happened right to you, right? We'd get out of the bed and we would literally feel someone sitting on the bed and getting in position of laying down. You feel the weight and everything on the bed. And it's mind blowing because it literally felt to me like she was right beside me. And I don't know, for some reason, I kind of knew she wasn't going to be there, but I turned anyway just to look out of curiosity. Of course, there was nothing there. And then it happened to her a couple of days from me when I got up, and she felt the same thing in bed. So we do have to do a lot of cleansing. Our cleansings are usually once a month in the house, so it happens.
I would say about 3 or 4 different things that happened to me,
Whoa.
more than that, maybe 5, was while I was in bed.
Mhm.
I have a question. Since
Oh.
you mentioned the cleansing, for
Mm.
people who have no clue what you're talking about,
Yeah, how do you do it?
what do you do?
Got the bleach.
So there's
Stop it,
different.
Nicholas.
It depends on the malevolency of the spirit, or it depends on the type of energy that you're having. If you have just a spirit that is not meaning any ill will, but you just want no energy in your house and you just want to be, the simplest thing to do is to burn sage. You want to use real natural sage. That it really works well. White sage works well. You pretty much just go through every room of your house and you talk in a nice, kind manner to the spirit. Because if you are rude or anything like that, you can make it where it refuses to leave. But if you're nice about it, and you just say,
Oh.
I didn't invite you here. You're not welcome here. I'm sorry. We just don't want anything here right now with us, and that we like our privacy. Like, you can say a bunch of different things as you're walking off the stage. If it's a weaker spirit, it will leave. Now, if you get into a situation where something's a little bit more mischievous, dark, at that point, you got to go into another measure. So not only would you do sage, but you would also carry like a cross in the other hand, and you would say, in the name of Jesus Christ, he commands you to leave this house. You are not welcome here. I had never invited you. You have to be very kind of like stern with it, but not too aggressive. And then you have to make sure that you hit every corner with the smoke in your house, in every room. And then if it even gets worse, then you have to go into the oils and you have to go into salts. Now with the salts, you can use Himalayan pink salt or whatever, any kind of earth salt, and you put that at your door frames, like on the bottom, and that creates a barrier for them. And then what you do is you anoint the oil and you do it on your door frames and stuff. And you can use 100% real natural olive oil. And then you just make crosses on each side of the frame. And then you would do the sage. After you do all of that stuff and you do a couple prayers, and you definitely have to command the spirit to leave, usually that will cleanse your home. And we don't ever have issues usually until we bring new spirits home.
Yeah, I have to keep my dogs away from my
Oh, damn.
door that goes from my bedroom to the outside, because there's salt all across that doorway.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
did not know it was that extensive.
Mm.
It depends. There's a lot of things. I mean, you can get in a situation where you can have poltergeist like activity, and sometimes that stuff won't work, and you have to go into deeper things. And usually you might even have to get a priest to come and bless the house. That's when you're starting to dive into like holy water, putting it in sprayers and making sure that you spray each room down, and you're spraying the doors and stuff as you're doing prayers. There's a lot of different techniques you can do it, but like, again, it depends on the strength of the spirit and what its intentions are.
Anywhere specific that you
Yeah.
really want to go and investigate? Like, is there something where you're like, I would love to investigate that place?
Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. I think Dracula's castle
Ooh.
would be
Ooh.
great.
In
Yeah, I
mine,
like that one.
yeah, hers is that. I mean, that does sound fascinating. The Axe House is another one that we want to do, but I would say
Yeah.
mine would probably be investigating all the spots where Jack the Ripper attacked people.
That would be
Would be my thing.
interesting. Hmm. So we're
It's
kind
crazy.
Man, dude,
Mhm.
you guys are all that is man. Holy crap.
And woman.
of
Thank you very much.
Well, yeah. I said,
Mhm.
well, you guys, yeah.
So I just
That's
want to touch
mm.
on, we were talking last night about it, how you were saying you don't usually get a lot of activity in cemeteries, which was odd. You would think you would.
Well, I think kind of like we were saying last night, that's really just a resting place for a body or for a vessel. Most often by the time that body gets to the cemetery, the spirit is already gone, and they usually attach to a place that they have a connection with.
So they're not
Yeah,
attached to a
cemetery.
body, they're attached to a
That makes sense.
destination.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cemeteries are very rare to find actual hauntings and spirits. There are cemeteries, the one that we have in the video right now with Forest Hills, that place is through the roof active. And it's because of how everything has been disregarded. There is no care. There's weeds, there's trees burying graves, graves are knocked over. It's It's just a
It was
really bad
sad.
situation. And Waverly's like that too. The other one that we're going to be,
Weatherly.
yeah, Weatherly. We're going to be doing that one.
Yep.
So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, there's some cemeteries that do have a lot of activity, but they're far in between, you know.
think
Would
there's
Gettysburg be one of those exceptions with the burial and stuff? I've heard a lot and seen a lot
Shush.
of.
Yeah,
Been
we
there.
actually
That's a
we
creepy
went to
place.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, Gettysburg's crazy.
We didn't do like a filmed investigation at Gettysburg because that was before we really developed all of this. But we got a lot of activity in Gettysburg. And the reason I believe Gettysburg is so haunted is because all of the bodies were just kind of left for days and days dead on the field. And
yeah.
I think just a lot of lost spirits.
Yeah, at our
Wow.
hotels that we stayed at, we had a lot of
Mhm.
activity. The one thing what time was it we got woken up by that?
That was probably around 3. somewhere in
The
there.
witching
Somewhere.
hour.
Oh, see, Brandon, 3. There's something about 3 in the
Yeah,
morning.
gee, yeah, yeah, I know, Nick.
To the Coast to Coast Halloween special. We will be going live on TikTok to record October 25th at 11:30 Eastern. And then all platforms will have it up for viewing Halloween Day.
But we stayed at the Cash Town Inn, and that place, that's where they did a lot of the filming around that area for the movie. What's his name stayed there? Was the actor?
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott
Mhm.
stayed there.
Ooh,
Mm.
Sam Elliott.
And yeah, there was
I love
there was
Sam
a lot of old energy there. Definitely
was.
old, like you heard the boots
For
walking
the
and stuff. and-
Balladary Inn, I think we actually got more.
The Belladary was crazy. Yeah, there was a part in the Belladary that it was actually where the grave was. All these soldiers were buried, and they put a slab of concrete over it, and they turned it back then into a parking lot, and then it
No,
became
it was
a tennis court.
yeah. Mhm.
And then now it's just, it's just concrete. But we were taking pictures
Wow.
there, and on our Facebook page we have the one picture showing, but you could see the energy coming out of the ground right next to Andrea, and it's like it's a big ecto cloud, but it was that was crazy, the energy that was there.
The Cherokee in me is so offended by that.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
Me too, Mary.
Earlier you had said something about being, what'd you call it, spirit sensitive?
Yeah,
Right?
spirit sensitive and spirit
What's that?
magnets. All right, so a spirit sensitive, there's different types of sensitives. Spirit sensitive in that we feel the energy.
Okay.
So we can go in any place that has been known to be haunted or whatever, and we wouldn't know.
Or
But
not know.
the moment we walk in there, we could feel those energies, and we know if a place has, if there is a haunting there, or if it's a residual ghost or whatever. We can usually sense. I don't know how strong, because I don't think we've ever talked about. Do you sense the male female
Mhm.
part like I do? All right, so we could sense males and females. We could sense children. We could sense if something is evil, if something has good intentions. There's different feelings that you feel like with a negative energy. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like you feel like you are almost being crushed, but you're not being crushed. It's just a lot of pressure, and like the air is like extremely thick. And then if you get touched by it, then you will feel like an electrical feeling. Like if you put your finger in a socket, it's kind of like that tingling feeling. In the one video when it grabbed my knee, I really felt a lot of that. When she got the hand on your head, what did you feel on that one?
The hand on my head, it was like a whole hand, and I could feel all the fingertips on the top of my head like this, putting pressure. And then he just left his hand there for quite a while.
Yeah, she was like this throughout the whole video. He's there.
That's the
But
part I
yeah, I
got
mean-
to, and then I had to leave work.
Now, being a
Yeah.
magnet, both of us are magnets. That just means that energies are drawn to us. So being a spirit sensitive, you give off a lot of energy, and spirits need EMF energy, or even bodily energy in order to be able to manipulate things, to be able to manifest, to be able to even communicate with you. They need that kind of energy. There's a lot of times in our videos you'll see when we do ITC, when I use especially necrometer, and it comes out like an electronic voice. If it's a really strong spirit, you'll hear that clear as day, and you'll hear everything that they're saying. And then when they're weak, it's like it's very hard to understand what they're saying. But it depends on the energy of the spirit and how much they're able to pull off of you or the surroundings.
What do you think, Brandon?
My dogs are barking in the house right now. It's distracting. I
Dogs
don't know
and
why.
cats are very sensitive. Where one place
That's-
my mother lived, her house was built. They said it was like an Indian burial ground or something at one point, something to that effect. It was a while ago. Something was going on there because it was guaranteed. And I don't know why. It almost seemed like almost BS because it was always a full moon. And you're like, why would it be the full moon? But no
Huh.
shit, dude. Every single full moon, right at midnight, literally, every dog in that neighborhood, including ours, will beeline it, barking like they want to tear something up to the road, and they'll run right along the road, just losing their minds.
Yeah, they're the best at being sensitive as any kind of animal. They just pick up anything, and that's like if you sit there and you watch a cat's mannerisms or a dog, especially dogs. I would say dogs. I mean, the one time when we did the private investigation, that dog kept looking up like at the ceiling, and like there was nothing there, but he just kept focusing on it, and he was like kind of like following it. So I mean, not only did we feel it, that gave us concrete evidence that there was something there because he was interacting with it.
My
But
bloodhound
yeah,
does that.
animals
He
are
acts
Oh,
like
damn.
my red acts like he's getting bit in the butt and shit, and he'll jump a real look, and he's looking
Well,
all
that's
over the
because
place.
you yourself, dude, Nick. That's because
Mm.
you are haunted.
his beard is
His
haunted.
beard is
Like
I
haunted.
Zeus.
had. What about my cat story, Brandon?
You can't have a beard that glorious and not have it be haunted.
I had one of my
It's gotta be.
the first real crazy experience I had, I believe it was my first one. So at my mother's house was that house where the dogs would bark at the street. I told this on episode 15, season 1, 3 years ago.
Great.
I
Get
was
to
in the
relive
bed.
my
The room I
past.
was
Like I
staying
remember that
in,
one.
room I was staying in had bunk beds. I was on the bottom one.
Oh shit.
And right outside my door, I'm sitting there trying to go to sleep, and my cat, you ever hear a cat meow like it's almost like a baby crying? It's just a crazy, just a whine. My cats are pacing and they're whining like nuts, and right my doorway, not up the hall, nowhere, just pacing my door, right in the doorway. And I'm looking like, you crazy? What are you guys doing? They're just whining. I didn't think nothing of it, so I lay back down. All of a sudden, the whole bunk goes poof. I'm thinking the cat's jumped up.
Nope.
They'll jump up. I look up, the sons of bitches are still pacing in the damn doorway.
Nope.
I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. Next thing you know it, I feel a weight. I can't open my eyes. I can't speak. I can't turn. I cannot move. What felt like forever. It might have been 20 seconds. I don't know, but it felt like forever. I'm just laying there and I can't budge. I can't do anything. And then all of a sudden, finally, I was able to get myself turned over.
Nope.
I went
Take
to
me home
sleep.
right now, Jesus.
That's it.
Nope.
That is it.
That's an interesting feeling.
That dude, when you told me that story the first time, it scared the shit out of me. And now you just said it again.
I got
And
a
you didn't
lot
like
of
it
those.
that time either, did you?
Nope.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Unless the host want me to shut up.
Mary, you do your thing.
There are
Well, that was a good question by Mary.
from all different walks of life, but a lot of people who do have religious backgrounds, especially, people that are over 30, whatever religious denomination, a lot of those people believe that when someone dies, their spirit leaves this place and goes, to another place to wait for Judgment Day. So they're either in paradise or they're in Hades. How do you explain to those people who might believe that everything that you're encountering could be demonic and it's just trying to trick you? How do you explain to those people this is, the difference, or this is why there are spirits that linger?
Okay, well, I mean, the energies that we come face to face with, we've come across evil entities. We've come across peaceful, loving entities. You feel them. So when a demon is trying to manipulate you and pretend, and that does happen, don't get me wrong, it does. The odds of you, though, and this is what's crazy, like everybody watches these groups on YouTube, and like I said, a lot of them, like, their minds are like, I don't know where they are, but they're beyond fake. And they'll sit there and they'll say like a demon's attacking them and all that kind of stuff. The odds of a demon actually encountering you is very slim. It is. There's a difference between a malevolent spirit or a dark spirit and a demon. Now, there are evil spirits or dark spirits. They're not demons. They just have ill intentions. A demon, you'll know when you're around a demon because you smell. I can't even put in words what that smells like. And I've smelt it a couple of times in my life. And it's like rotting. It's like the worst it's like rotting maggots. Just picture that. All right. That's the best way to put it. And then on top of
Brandon,
that,
you're a demon.
Thanks, buddy.
But then you'll have
ya.
you have sulfur too. Like there's like a burnt smell to it, and you will just feel this darkness just surround you. And when it gets like that and it gets really, really strong, that's when you'll know that you're probably amongst something that could be possibly demonic. Evil energy and malevolent energy, they will do things like take your car keys. And there's this thing called the phantom zone. A lot of people talk about this where
I've heard about that.
If your house is haunted, your items are mysteriously gone. They vanish. So somehow, some way, I don't know the answer to this and how they do it, but spirits are able to take your objects and bring them into a phantom zone where you cannot find them anywhere in your house. And then all of a sudden, the next morning, they'll be on the table next to you. That happens. But getting back to what you were saying about the religious thing, yeah, there's a way that we feel it. Have you encountered a demon? Yeah.
I got goose pimples.
Besides the cemetery, because I know that was
that was
scary.
But that really didn't interact with us too much, except for that one night. That, and I'm gonna say the murder house was probably. I feel like that was, but we didn't get close enough to actually say for sure
you
that it
felt
was.
crazy stuff there. Yeah.
Yep. But that was it.
Pretty sure that I got goose pimples. Pretty sure my house is haunted now. We had just the other day, wife was putting dishes away, right? I had done the dishes the night before. We kind of flipped, just like we flip-flop, giving the kids a bath and whatnot. And she goes, "Hey honey, where's my little paddle from my bread maker?" I'm like, "What?" So she shows me the other piece, right? It looks just like this. Do you remember putting it away? I'm like, yeah, I could have sworn I put it in the drawer over there. She goes, "Oh, it's not there." It's still not here. We don't know what the hell happened to it. We're like, maybe the kids thought it was a toy and put it with their toy. We went through the entire house, like top to bottom. Thing is gone. It's been gone now for like 2 days. No clue where it went. No idea.
It'll be on your counter
it's not
tomorrow morning.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's not
You'll
the
find it in
first,
a couple of
but it's
days,
not the first
something
time
weird.
something like that has happened either.
Yeah, I got
And it's
goosebumps
usually
too.
like when we really need something, right? Like, so for example, we're fighting with a mouse or multiple mice right now. I've been spending the last couple of weeks plugging up holes and stuff outside and whatnot, right?
How old is your house, Brandon?
Oh, it's old. Shit. I can't
Have
remember.
you guys?
We
Have
got
you
it
ever
in
had?
2018, and I want to say it was built in I want to say it was like the late 60s, early 70s ish, maybe. I'm not
I
sure.
was gonna say, if you go down into the town and then you go to the record keepers, that they can let you actually know if anybody has ever passed in your home, or where
I don't want to know, man.
Sometimes you might want to know that stuff though, but it depends on what you're experiencing. If you guys aren't experiencing anything malevolent, you probably could have intelligent spirits, but there could be residual too, that they just like to be there.
It could be
Okay.
somebody that keeps sleeping the same rate where you sleep.
Dude, I already told you that story, and I gotta tell it now because they're here.
Yes, tell it.
Okay. So, where we lived before we moved here 2018, right? Every once in a blue moon at the old house, I'd be laying there. I'm a side sleeper, right? And I would hear like this close to my ear. Oh, God. It freaks me out. We moved here. In the last 5 years, I've heard that twice, and that's it. Like it's it's like it waits until the second I'm about to be just dead ass asleep, right? I start to,
It senses your energy.
fuck?
Yeah. It senses
Scares
your
the
energy. It's a
shit
disembodied
out of
voice. Yeah. So it's shocking you.
Freaks me the fuck out.
Mhm.
Oh, I got goosebumps. I don't like it. I don't like it. And then these yahoos, Nick's talking about previous seasons and shit. I picked up these like copper rod things on Amazon, and I saw a thing on TikTok where a dude was, hey, cross them to say yes, open them to say no. So of course we're dicking around with it, right? I'm like doing
And
the
it
thing.
was
I think how
working.
many times did we do that, Nick? Twice,
Yeah.
and it worked both fucking times. Rods are crossing and opening. I'm like, okay, point both rods towards the camera, and it'd be like at the camera, right? I'd be,
And you were
okay,
very
you're
nice. You were,
here.
thank you. You know,
I was trying to. I was scared to death. I'm like,
He
where
had
are
his
you?
hands in front of the camera. You could see
They were
his
here.
hands still. They were flat. He didn't.
They
He
weren't moving.
didn't move them.
And then I'm like,
It was
okay,
crazy.
point the rods to where your energy is, right? And
Right
both of them
behind
like
them.
go around the same direction, and they go over my right shoulder. I'm like, okay, tell me I'm talking about my grandma, please. Like,
Yeah.
fuck. Oh, dude,
It's crazy. I mean,
it
for
was
anybody
insane.
yeah, I was gonna say for anybody that experiences the paranormal or anything supernatural, your very first time, it's like your brain doesn't want to believe it. And it's like when it does happen, it's like you're trying to come to terms with what just happened, and you're like, did that really happen? Or how could that have happened? Or how did this not happen? Like you'll sit there and question everything. But then like when it happens continuously, you do get to the point, like I said, even with her and I, we've been through so much paranormal shit. It's like it doesn't even phase us anymore. Like we'll be sitting here, and if there's a ghost in our house, we're just like, oh, there's another ghost. And then like we just wait. We'll talk to it, and we'll be like, you can hang out for a little bit, but just don't annoy us, or we're gonna have to cleanse you out. But things like that. But yeah, well, I mean, we're so used to stuff. Like we'll do investigations, like even with the Conjuring video that we did, what you were just talking about in your ear. The one part that I'm by the well, I had no equipment on, and you literally hear the disembodied voice telling me to whisper. It goes, yeah, and you hear it right in the
That's me.
video. It's crazy.
I'm the
Nope.
rational
Nope.
investigator.
Ferris is the guy that looks for the fishing lines in people's videos
Yeah.
when things move.
That's good.
We do that too, honestly. We
Yeah, we
try
like
to
to
debunk
debunk
as
people.
much as we can.
well, that's kind of what you guys did with the house, the Conjuring house, I think is what you called it.
Mhm.
I haven't
That
seen
was
that
one
one
of the
yet.
last. I think that was the last video that I watched. But it's odd because both last night I wanted to finish watching the theater video,
Mhm.
and today before podcast time, I tried to. I went to the channel. I went to play it. I had watched a video before that. I wanted to airdrop it onto, and it would not continue to play that video. Not yesterday and not again today. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm not supposed to finish watching that one.
Your device is haunted. I have a question. Well, really, a statement and a question. I'm around in my life. I'm around a lot of empaths, and there's one on this show right now, actually.
Shut up.
A really good friend of mine. Anyway,
There's more
so
than one on this show.
My question is there people that are empathic to other people? Is there some kind of a connection to that, even though they may not be paranormal friendly, like open to it? Is there a connection to that?
Go ahead, you answer that.
For like, as far as there a connection, people who are empathetic toward or empaths towards people and towards spirits, is that what you're saying?
So can an empath that is normally recognize themselves as being empathic to people, do they have that extra sixth sense, I guess if you say?
I honestly believe that everybody has that, just not everybody can access it. I think a lot of people are just really closed off and they can't do it. But I think if you are an empath, you have you just have so much more ability. You can definitely open all of that up.
Because the reason I ask is my wife is very empathic, and she won't do what the kids want to do around this time of year, which is all the haunted trails and stuff like that opens up, and I think she's had some experiences that she just don't want to talk about, which is fine. I mean, it's her choice, but And that's why I'm always trying to get to know my wife better, any way I
Yeah.
can. And I can't, because of all these empaths, I can't keep my feelings to myself. It's like they sense it. It's like, oh, okay, fine. Man,
Yeah, I really believe that's like the first step towards, I mean, you just have to open it up a little bit more. And then absolutely, I believe she could probably have that paranormal connection too.
And to one more for me to find the strings, not necessarily debunk, but I'm curious, in the video of the Ritz Theater,
Yeah.
the first little section, you're having a conversation with these entities, and you disclaim that, hey, some of these things we might have missed or whatever they're saying.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably super hard to figure out what they're. Is it just you two trying to figure out what they're saying, or do you bring in a third tiebreaker, or is there a committee?
No,
How do y'all
what we
determine
do,
what they're saying?
yeah, what we do is we take the vocalizations that are coming through, and like I have a thing that I could slow the speech down, and
Right.
when I'm doing the video, like the video editing, I could slow it down into my Beat headphones. For some reason, I hear everything through those, and it's a little bit easier to understand. And then when you see the words on the screen and then you hear the voice, it's like you put it together and like that's exactly what he's saying. Like, excuse my French, I'll just say, for example, here, I'm gonna end up cursing real fast, but the one spirit that I was communicating with in the theater was definitely something dark. It was definitely not demonic, but it was dark, and there was some kind of really scary thing to it too. But when it was saying to me, not the first part I had the communication. I don't know if it's the same spirit. It might have been the one I had in the concession was the same one I had on the stage. But he says that I think that I am the sky, and then he called me a pussy. So he goes, "You think you're the sky, pussy?" And then and I'm listening to
Okay,
it,
then.
yeah, and I'm listening to it, and you'll see there's parts where I have question marks, but then after I watch the video, I'm like, "Oh my God, that's what he said," and I missed it. And like he'll call me like a loser. He did call me the FAG word. Definitely heard that one come through. And then in the concession stand, he does a thing where he says, it almost didn't make sense, but he uses the F word in there. But then he says, "Did you catch that?" And when he says that, you can hear like a little kid's laugh between it. And if you go back and you watch it, you will hear it. And it's mind blowing because like as it's speaking, you're hearing this disembodied little kid laugh going through it.
Oh,
Awesome.
Crazy. Yeah. But that's one thing I was going to say, Ferris. That's the one thing with us is like we always invite debunkers to watch our videos and debunk us because they can't. Here's how I'll give you proof, right? So she's on stage. You have a spirit coming through the thing and it says, "Hear my voice." And Andrea goes, "I would love to hear your voice. And if you turn your speakers up on your TV, you will hear it." The spirit actually speaks from the damn seats. And it happens a couple times. Yeah. And
There's
then,
actually
yeah,
four.
blast
Yeah.
your speakers on that part, and I'm telling you, you'll hear it. And then also when I'm communicating in the concession stand with the one spirit, and I'm telling it to turn something on, it says, "I said wait," and then it turns the ball on right there. So right there, it shows you the evidence of what we're doing. You're getting communication, you're getting activity, and it's all at once. You can't fake that kind of stuff.
Well, I put just so that y'all don't think I'm a total skeptic. I put paranormal activity at damn near top of the list of things that I'm like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. Like flat earthers is probably down the bottom. Like I definitely don't. That's just not me right now. I can't be convinced of
Yeah.
that. So for what you do, it's up there with, okay, this is possible because I'm religious. I know that there's. I mean, what else? What is a guardian angel if it's not a spirit around us?
yeah,
And
I put it up at the top of the list of things not to fuck around with. Personally,
I could tell all you guys right now, angels are 100% real.
Oh, absolutely.
I believe that 100%.
When things happen in your life and you're at your lowest points, you always find strength to rise above and to get through whatever hardships you are. That's not you. That's an angel that is with you, helping you through that. Humans can only do so much. Our capacity of our brains can only go so high. And it's like, we don't have the abilities to change current events in our lives and stuff like that. That is all done by higher power. So yes, angels are real.
I think
One of the now that you mentioned angels and all that, one of my favorite memories
Is this the
along
highway memory?
along this realm. I didn't have a vehicle at the time.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine was down and out, and I knew it was going to take me all night to freaking walk to his house, right? Because he's 30 some odd miles away. But I'm like, dude, I'm on my way. Don't do anything stupid, right? And I packed a backpack and I left, and I was walking on the side of the road late at night, right? And I trip. And as I trip, I hear a car coming, right? And I see headlights, and I'm falling into the damn road, right? And I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm going to die. Trying to go help my buddy. This is how I go. Next thing I know, no clue how it happened. Boom, instantaneously, I'm way more forward than I was. That car's driving by. I'm perfectly balanced. And I literally just crossed like a 10, 15 foot fucking gap. It was weird.
Something saved you.
Yeah. And then I get a phone call from a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a couple years, who happened to live in the same area as my buddy I was trying to go see. She calls me up. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm walking to, so-and-so's house. From your house? Yeah, I don't have a car. Oh my God, we're like 2 minutes away. Where are you? We're like 2 minutes from your house. Oh, I'm over here on this road. Oh, we'll be there in 5 minutes. Pick you up, give you a ride. It's like one of my favorite memories ever, because it was such a positive,
can be cool.
Positive thing, right? Got some bad ones too.
Well, two things for me real quick. I have this thing that's been going on for a long time. I always, my peripheral, I always see something.
Yes.
90% of the time, it's a head, like looking in a doorway.
Nope.
Or it's always right here. Yep. The other day, I even had an animal about days ago. I told my wife this. We were doing something, and all of a sudden I swear a cat, full body. I seen tail. Boom! I look, but there's nothing, and there's not even a cat there to begin with. Nowhere for it goes. It was in a little room, but I seen it clear as day. But I mostly see like the old farmhouse I told you about, Brandon. I lived out in Virginia.
Nope. Yep, I remember. Nope.
Always, there's a little hallway we made to our living room. You'd always see this dark head look in. Oh, I always see something looking at me, and I'll look and it's gone.
I don't want to see it.
The other thing I want to say, you guys can comment on these things if you want. What I find the spookiest, like if there's something like that going on, it doesn't scare the shit out of me. If I hear something, it doesn't. What the ones that freak me out are the ones like when I went to these little farmhouses out in the middle of nowhere that have been abandoned. You walk in there and it looks like people just left. Old fridge, the chair sitting there with some magazines on the table. And we went in these two. The first one, I swore we heard footsteps. And we got a feeling that it was a get the fuck out feeling. You're like your fight or flight kicks in.
GTFO, brother.
Like dumbasses, even though we kind of walked out of that one, and then we went to the next one up. Never heard a word, nothing there, but for some reason you just got that feeling. I'm feeling it now. Goosebumpy, hair raising up. Dude, like we heard nothing, but there was a feeling in there. Me and my buddy couldn't run. We were tripping over each other, running and jumping off the porch, get the fuck out of that house. That was way scarier than anything else I ever have encountered. It's weird.
No thanks. No thanks. With that, we got to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Hear a word from the sponsor. We're sponsored, everybody. And then we'll come back and we got more questions.
Okay.
Scary stuff.
The creepy things that make you run. T-shirts. Run. T-shirts. Run. T-shirts. Run. T-shirts.
right, here we are. Back for
We're back.
commercials and things like that.
We're back.
What was
We're
that?
gonna
Stuff like
we're
that.
gonna
things like that, dude.
continue. We're gonna continue our paranormal interview.
Oh, you know what we got to do? I meant to
Exciting.
do in the beginning. We also got to mention our new sponsor, Maumee Bay Lawn Care. If you are in the Toledo, Ohio area and you need your lawn taken care of to look spick and span and beautiful, or if you don't feel like shoveling that damn snow this coming winter, you need to give
That's
these
the
people a
one.
holler. They'll take care
They'll
of you.
come do it with a smile on their face, even.
That's right.
The owner Randy will haunt your yard.
So now that we're back from our break, I have two questions that I really want to ask. And
Seven.
then
5 + 2 is 7.
5 + 2 is 7. Thanks, buddy. Who'd you get that from? And then I think the people out there probably want to hear some of the nitty gritty. Anywho's question number one. I put both these questions in the chat just because I didn't know how to word them, and I'm just going to read it how I typed it. Pardon my French. Is it true that the more you fuck around with it, the more you're inviting shit to actually start happening? Is that actually true?
I believe that's true.
It depends on what you're doing, though. Okay, so if you're investigating and you're just constantly out there and you're investigating, trying to find answers, like we stated before, spirits it depends on the spirit, and if they love your energy, they're going to attach to you and they'll follow you home. Now, for the people that are kind of clueless and they don't know what they're doing and they're using like these paranormal apps, and they're genuine apps, let's just say, that actually work. Not all of them do. And then they're doing the Ouija board and stuff like that. The more and more that they do that kind of stuff, yes, they are opening themselves. They're inviting a presence, and Ouija boards are the worst thing in the world to use. I know
I've
that
never messed with one. I don't ever plan on messing with one.
No. And the thing is, a lot of people think they're games and that. And a lot of times, people won't make a connection, and it's usually somebody moving the oracle. But for the ones that really do, it's you're inviting. There's nothing ever good in a Ouija board, ever. Every single thing that comes to a Ouija board is a dark, malevolent spirit. It could be a demon. It could be just something dark, and they will make your life a living hell if you keep playing with that.
I've done that, and I've done one called the Psychic Circle.
Why would you do that?
I was younger, stupid dude.
This is why you're
I heard about the
bro.
Psychic Circle.
Yeah, it worked too. It worked.
What is that?
It's like a Ouija board.
That could be why you're seeing floating heads everywhere.
Right. Okay.
Well, a lot of people.
Around.
Go ahead.
So now we know that the more you mess around with it, the more potential there is for shit to happen, and that's
fuck
something
around,
you
find out.
Yeah. Fuck around and find out, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So question number two, and this is also kind of a two-parter, right? It's a double-edged sword kind of deal, because you said there's people out there, say like myself, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? And let's say just wanted to all of a sudden one day, okay, let me just fuck around and find out, right?
With spirit rods.
Thanks, Mary. How do people in general stay safe, especially in the moment, right? When they're testing things out? And then also, how do you guys ensure that you're staying safe when you're out there in an investigation?
We do a lot of different things. I mean, we do protection spells, we do protection prayers, we make sure that we communicate with the spirits to let them know our intentions before we do an investigation. And that's even before the cameras come on. We are definitely communicating and letting them know that we are only there to bring forth evidence of the paranormal and life after death, and that we do not come and we do not mean them harm. We're not negative people. I mean, spirits sense your energy. They know what your intentions are when you walk through a door. They can sense what type of person you are, and they will feed off of you. If you're a negative person, you're going to have a very negative experience. If you're a loving, giving person that has a lot of light inside of them, the spirits are going to attract to you that are good, and the ones that are darker usually stay in the back. And they'll make themselves known, but they usually stay in the back. And it's more the good spirits in the front unless they overpower them. So.
But not only that, I think you have to trust your instincts too. And if you feel that something is dark, we end communication.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite or like of your equipment, a specific one that you like the most or you want to go to?
As far as the ITC, I personally like the Spirit Talker. I think it works better for me. I think you
It's
have
like
to,
an Oculus.
yeah, you have to kind of choose a device that works best for you. I think every person is different.
Me, I would say my go-to. I mean, we have all the other like the bells and whistles, like all the laser lights and all that stuff. But I would say my favorite thing to do is definitely necrophonic. That's like a spirit box. Now I've used many different spirit boxes, and I've tried everything. And I'll tell you right now, necrophonic is the most authentic, intelligent thing I've ever used compared to everything else.
Is
And
there
we do
any-
get a lot of very good, strong communication. Even at the theater, we had Houdini come in for like a whopping 10 seconds, and then like he disappeared. But
That's because he's Houdini.
He pulled a Houdini.
yeah,
Is there any piece of equipment on the Ghostbusters that is actually real?
On the ghost.
on Ghostbusters, no.
No. Dang it. All right.
Ferris.
Except no. That EMF reader they had the two wings
EMF,
that
yeah,
popped up
that's kind of what I was
with the
thinking.
lights. EMF, yeah. I mean that picks up electronic magnetic frequencies, and
So Igor was ahead of his time. Look
I
at
would say that was real. Yeah, proton packs and all that shit.
That'd be cool though.
Make a great rat
It's
trap,
funny you
but,
bring that
no.
up, Ferris. You know, Jacob, my son, he's 6. He is going to be a Ghostbuster for Halloween this
Awesome.
year.
Which one?
His
Tegman?
You have to write the
his
Ecto
name
one
tag,
for him.
his name tag on it says Spangler and everything.
Oh, nice.
So he's Egon. Egon
Nice.
Spangler.
So
It's
what
awesome.
about the one that shoots off the dots and maps and you get the little character?
Oh, that's a SLS. Yeah, that's the stick figure. Now, I've seen a lot of people because I mean, I administrate a lot of these sites and stuff like that. And I've seen people posting their videos. The thing with those is you can't walk around because you're going to get a lot of fake positives. Like it'll pick up any kind of object. It'll get a chair, and people are like, "Oh my God, there's something sitting in the chair," but it's really not. It's just mapping the chair. Even with doorways and stuff like that, the best thing to do with those, if anybody's going to use it, as the best advice I can give you, set it up on a stand or a pod and have it pointing at nothing. And if you get a stick figure that comes in the doorway, then you have something. Otherwise, if you're going to use that on investigations, you can't be like panning it around and stuff because it's going to pick up so many things. And I've seen so many people think like, "Oh my God, I got something," and it's nothing. It's just mapping.
Interesting.
Okay, so it's time for the scary stuff now, right?
Wait a minute.
Brandon, do you want to mute?
I'm gonna.
Can we just
Hold
do a what's in your water real quick?
I'm gonna do that. I was just gonna say to give a little break for Brandon. I'm gonna do the what's in the water quick, and then we'll get
Oh,
into.
thank
the scary
God.
stuff. So here we go with what's in their water. Just so you guys know what's in their water, it's usually Florida. It's like crazy, funny news stuff. That's just what in the heck is going on. Because we do like fake news, little skits and stuff, and it seems like Florida is the most like they just have a lot of crazy things.
Florida's nuts.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Florida's
So-
nuts.
My first what's in their water, Florida man tries to shoot a puppy, but the puppy shoots him instead.
What?
The Florida man was shot by one of 7 puppies he was
Paw
attempting to
Patrol.
kill when one of them put their paw on the trigger of his gun and it went off.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a
really happened?
What are you
smart-ass
trying
dog.
to shoot a freaking puppy for
I'm
in
gonna
the
have to
first
stop.
place?
I'm gonna have to stop making jokes on my dogs not having thumbs. I mean, they
With it, now we have a Florida man humps a tree nude and then punches a deputy.
Ow! First
That's
of all,
not surprising.
No.
That right there is the epitome of why you don't
He said
meth
it's not.
around.
Don't meth around.
I'm thinking that's more a PCP thing than meth. I don't know.
A
But-
Florida man was arrested after doing very Florida man things, including humping a tree and running down the street nude. And then he came across a deputy and he punched the deputy right in the face.
See, now that's just
Jesus.
ridiculous. You don't do that.
A very Florida man thing to do, it says. And our
Love
last
the
one,
popo.
Florida man gets beat up by the Easter Bunny.
What?
What? Oh no.
A Florida man received a beatdown from the Easter Bunny, and the whole thing was caught on video. It all started when the man bumped into a woman. Words were exchanged. The bunny hopped into action and proceeded to fist of fury beat the shit out of the guy.
Wow.
And that's your what's in their water today.
Brandon, did that help you?
Methamphetamine. Yeah, I feel better. I feel better. I'm ready.
Watch out for them
Let's-
Easter bunnies will whoop you.
I'm never ready. But let's okay, all right. Nick, I'm gonna let you ask the question that gets the ball rolling on that segment there, buddy.
Okay. What is something that you guys have encountered that will make Brandon shiver and quiver in his boots?
Anything.
Well, that's the problem. There's a lot. So I mean, that I've experienced personally.
Okay, if I should say it this way, is there anything what you come across so far that actually scared the piss out of you?
On a scale of 1 to 10, a 3 would scare
yeah,
Brandon. So start there.
that there's
Oh,
been
thanks,
many of
Faith.
that too. All right, so I mean, I could talk about the haunted house I lived in, and I was tormented by a spirit by the name of John. So I'll give you guys a story of that first. So we moved to a town called Carbondale, and there was a house that was on the corner, and it was a very nice house. It was modern, pretty big house. And when we moved in there, I was excited. This was like after my father died. We moved there. I was about 12 or 13. And right when we got in the house, like, I don't know, I felt something, but like, I mean, at that age, I didn't know what the hell it was. I didn't know if it was just me being silly or whatever, but I was feeling something. But my first occurrence that happened at that house was there was these two cabinets that were in my bedroom, and I had these French glass doors. So I didn't really have privacy in my bedroom, you can say. And the glass cabinets, I put all my G.I. Joe guys, and I had all these different action figures.
As you
And,
do.
man.
Yeah.
yes. And I had this one from Clash of the Titans. It was the devil.
Clash of
And
the Titans?
yeah, the Clash of the Titans. He was a
Nice.
toy. So I remember putting him in there, and I made sure all my toys were set up, and I was setting up my room. And this was the very first night we were there. And I made sure everything was shut. All the cabinets were like magnets, they were closed and everything else. And I just laid in bed. And I was laying there, and I was just excited, being in a new house and everything else. And these girls came. That's a long story. And these girls came to my window to flirt with me, and so I was like in heaven. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." So I'm laying there in my bed.
I love this town.
I'm laying in my bed, and I just hear like I remember, and it was like a click, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, maybe something fell, and I didn't think much of it. So I lay back, and it's crazy because I'm 51 and I still remember this like it was yesterday because that's how dramatic it was. But I was laying there, and I was starting to get to that point where I was feeling I was gonna fall asleep, and all of a sudden something hits me in the head really hard. And I remember jumping up, and I'm like looking around, like, what the hell? And there was nothing there. And then I looked down, and on my lap with the covers was the devil doll, and from Clash of the Titans. And then I saw, like, I put the light on, and I saw the cabinet door was open. So that's what the click was that I heard. So that kind of freaked me out at first, and I tried to make sense of it at that age, and I didn't want to say anything to my mom or anything. So I kind of held that back. Then the next incident that happened there was smashed dishes in our kitchen, and my mom was like freaking out, thinking that one of us did it. And I was like, I didn't go in the kitchen at all. And then we would smell cigar smoke. Everything started small at this place, and then it escalated. Doors would be slamming in your face. I would lay in my bed. Once I moved upstairs to another bedroom. That room we ended up using for something else. But I moved upstairs to another bedroom, and the attic was right above me, and every single night I would hear somebody walking back and forth, and I would hear the footsteps, and I knew there was nobody up there, and that would freak me out. Then I would get into this situation where I'd be laying in bed, and I'd feel covers getting tugged off of me and getting pulled off of me while I was laying there.
Been there, done
And then
that.
I would feel things at my feet, touching my feet. I got to the point where I got so scared every single night I would tuck my covers underneath my mattress so they wouldn't move. But he would constantly torment me, and it was really nobody else in the house. It was always just me that he'd get. And one of the scariest things that happened there that was very painful. I was sitting approximately about 15 to 20 feet away from where my entertainment center was, and I had a stereo system with these very tall, thin speakers. And I was writing a song. I was starting to get into music at that point, and I was really far away. There's no way in hell what happened happened.
Let's get vocal.
And as I'm sitting there writing, all of a sudden I felt the bit like somebody came behind me and punched me in the back of my head as hard as they could. And I thought it was my brothers at first. And my first reaction was I looked over at the door. Didn't even look down yet. I looked over at the door and the door was closed and the door was locked. And then I'm looking down and there is this big long stereo speaker right beside me. And there's no way in hell. And I tried to make sense of it. I was like, there's no way it just tipped and fell, like, because there's no way, because I was so far away. But that was that showed me that it meant me harm. And that's when I told my parents about it. They still didn't believe me. So as a child, I went through a lot of stuff there. Then things started happening to them, like doors started opening in front of them. My mother's covers rose off of her bed while she was in bed, and she had actually took her voice where she couldn't scream. She said she felt something like it felt like a spear that was underneath it as they rose. And then when they fell, she got her voice back. She was screaming. My brother, Brian, in the basement, every nail came out of his paneling one at a time. We just went through a lot of crazy stuff there. And then we ended up having the house blessed. There was a lot of things that I did that I shouldn't have done. I mean, I was at that point, I was resilient. I was against God I kind of blamed God for taking my father. So I started reading the Devil Bible like an idiot. And I was doing some other bad things. Yeah.
What?
Stupid stuff. That's why you guys shouldn't be playing with this shit.
Yeah.
But the one night I was visited by what I can only explain as what looked like two big, massive lawn garbage bags. There's no other way to put it. That's what they looked like. They were at the end of my bed. Those were demonic, and I did have that smell in my room, and there was like a lot of craziness that was going on in my life. I was starting to think crazy thoughts. I was getting lost, and there was just too much darkness at that point. And that's when Reverend Davis came, and a couple other people. They came and they blessed the house. They did like the holy water and everything else. And after that, we never had any other issues at that house. But because of me being a sensitive, I think I invited, besides John being there, I invited other things in from doing the Satanic Bible and stuff like that. So that was one event. Now, if you want me to get into something like really scary, I was at a friend's house.
Wait, that's not scary enough?
No, this is even scarier.
Oh, there's the three that Ferris was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, this is this one was a little nuts, and I remember this one like it was kind of yesterday. But I was staying at my friend's Matt's house, and he was telling me that there was a ghost of a little girl there, and I didn't believe him. I was like, "Oh, you're full of it." And even though, again, as a child, I felt things, I just didn't understand them. But there was some kind of different feel in this house, and we ended up hanging out, eating pizza, playing video games and stuff like that. And I laid on this floor, and he was telling me, he goes, "If you hear anything," he goes, "it's probably the little girl." And I was like, "Dude, shut up." And so he ended up falling asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I went to the bathroom. Now, there was a long hall that he had at his house, and the bathroom was all the way at the very end. So I walked all the way down to the hall, and it was dark, and I turned to the left, and I went into the bathroom. And then I came out, I shut the light off, and I started walking back. And I got about halfway up, and then I heard what I could only say was like a disembodied giggle. And I turned, and there was nothing there. And I was like, what the hell was that? And like, I knew it freaked me out because I heard it clear as day, and it was like a little girl's laugh. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, was he telling the truth? Like, so I started walking more down towards the bath, like his bedroom. And then I heard the giggle again, and I turned around. And when I turned around this time, it was just like when I saw my father when I was a kid. It was like it looked like a film, like a projection. There's no other way of explaining it. But it looked like vapors, gas, blue, but you could see distinction. You could see like the facial features. I saw her face. I saw her hair. One of her legs was missing. I saw the other leg. Her one arm was partial. The other one was full, and it was on her side. And she just stood there and stared at me. And I'm telling you right now, I had a heart attack. And I ran into Matt's room, and I was screaming. I was like, dude, I just saw her. He's like, I told you. But yeah, we'll go there.
What the
What the?
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's just some of the stuff I've been through so much shit in my life. It's crazy. But
I had I think I told this story on the show too. I think I've told all of my stories in that damn episode, Nick, because there's only a handful.
Yeah.
But I was staying at my grandparents' house. So I grew up on 12 acres. Grandparents' house was up here. Our house was down here, right? I'm an only child. I don't have any like blood brothers or sisters. You know, I got friends and stuff. I'm like, hey, what's up, brother? But staying up at grandpa's. My cousins are there with me, Leanna and Christy. And we're all in the spare room, got our sleeping bags and shit. We're ready to go to bed. Grandma, you know, she's in there. All right, good night, kids. Bye. Close the door. Anywho's, fast forward however long it was. I don't know. Memory's a little bit muddled, but all of us pretty much either wake up at the same exact time or we were all already awake and we all saw the same damn thing at the same fucking time. There was this like silhouette, right? Like black silhouette in the black of night. It was weird because we could all still see it from like the glow of the lights under the door in the hallway, right? Grandma and grandpa are out in the living room, like watching TV, doing whatever. Big, tall, like 6'3" silhouette, big old cowboy hat. And then it starts walking like to where we are on the side of the room, right? And there's three of us. It's my cousin Leanna, me, my cousin Christy, and it walks in between me and my cousin Christy. You could hear the footsteps. We could feel like how heavy the footsteps were hitting the fucking floor, and all of us just gone. And we're sprinting, like we're at the door, throwing the door open, sprinting to the freaking living room. I jump into grandma's lap. Leanna and Christy are trying to figure out whether they're going to go to grandma or grandpa, and we're all trying to tell them all at the same time, like what we saw, right? Basically, what it came down to was grandpa said, oh, so there's a ghost, huh? Okay. Go to bed.
Nonchalant. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
ghost.
He goes, so there's a ghost, huh? Okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
And we're like, we're like traumatized, right?
Yeah.
Go to bed. What are you talking about, old man? Like, get your ass in there and kick that thing's fucking ass. Like, no.
Yeah.
Go to bed. And they sent the three of us back there by our fucking selves.
Yeah, Brand, I can
Needless
test
to
that.
say, none of us got any fucking sleep that night. We didn't see it again. Dude, I'm telling you, to this day, one of the scariest things that I've ever encountered in my entire life. I was super young. I think I was only like 7, 8 years old. And that is one of the reasons why I try not to fuck around too much, because I don't want to find out.
I like the story of the old lady with no teeth and shit.
Oh, dude, that's the voice. That's the voice. I
That's
just
the voice.
That's scary shit. That's scary shit right there.
what Nick's talking about.
The old hag.
Yeah.
When he was getting that,
the voice that, right? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to relive it.
he kept hearing it, so he turns
Dude,
around
it's
and looks,
fucking.
and you can see an old decrepit lady. The mouth was like real big, wide open, with all
gaping
his broken
ear to
teeth.
ear, busted, nasty fucking teeth, and just like clear as day.
I think
Only
we
saw her
should
the one
start a
time. Only saw her the
GoFundMe so
one
we can
time.
we get Brandon out there and investigate with y'all. One
Yeah.
day.
No,
I'd love
I'm
to
not
take
built
Brandon
for.
out. Brandon would love
I'm
it.
not built for that shit, man.
So what'd you say, Brandon? You did go.
I wish.
he
No,
asked the
don't get me wrong.
company-
I wish I was. I wish I was built to do that kind of stuff, because I find it intriguing. I find it interesting. I find it fascinating, but it scares the fucking shit out of me.
Brandon went and asked the people at the apartment complex, did anybody die in his apartment? They said, what'd they tell him, Brandon? Say it.
No, I don't want to.
They told him,
No.
yes, there was an old lady that died in
It's
there.
like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So
So
he moved out.
saw her at the apartment. Never saw her again, but I heard her voice. I know it's her fucking voice because I know that voice. Heard her voice at the next house, the rental house, Heard her voice that time here. Nope. Stay away from me.
Brandon,
Don't
get
watch
you
it.
some sage.
Yeah, that's a real good way to freak my wife out. Honey, what are you doing? Don't worry about it, dear.
I'm just making the house smell nice.
Dude, my wife is in the same boat as me. She, she finds it interesting. We like watching like the paranormal movies and stuff. When we watch the movies, we're like, okay, where's the tripwires? Where's the fishing line? It's kind of like Ferris, right? But we're both like, okay, a movie is one thing, but we're not messing with it. She still doesn't know that I've got these damn copper things over here.
You know what's crazy? Especially this time of year when I start watching scary shit. It can mess with your head because sometimes I do that. And then when I have to go to the bathroom at night and the lights are out and I'm going to the bathroom and the shower's behind me with the curtain drawn, my brain can't help but to think, is that curtain going to move?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, when it comes time for me to go to bed tonight, I'm going to be like running to the bedroom. And I don't think I'm going to sleep.
I think I need to tag along on one and be the cameraman or something, just up in the background.
I'll go with you, Ferris.
Ferris wants
Yeah.
it to be proven in real
Coast to
life.
coast
while he's
paranormal.
there.
Let's do it.
Yes, I
Man on
do.
the
We're all
street,
so far
Ferris.
apart.
So like I've said, I do believe that there are, whether you want to call it another dimension that could reach out to us, or if it's actually spirits, or if it's entities, whatever. They're there. I've just been raised that they're not there to harm you. So that's the positive attitude that I have. And
But they do.
They do, and I get they
Most
can.
No, most don't, but some can.
I haven't had the type of situations that y'all are talking about where it's a scary thing, other than
I've
younger,
had
when your
several
mind is still
encounters.
open to all the boogeyman and all that, and of course dark woods, camping, stuff like that. What goes bump in the night can scare you, and it's not necessarily a entity or a spirit. It's just something.
Dude, give me camping in the woods in pitch black over seeing that bitch's face any day of the week. I'm telling you, man. Oh,
I would do it.
We lived at a farm, 150 acres, old, talking 1800s farm. On the front of it, there was an old grave. There's a bunch of slave graves, and there was 3 people buried in the front that had the Civil War crosses. They were brothers. One of them, the guy in the middle, is actually General Lee's tailor. Went around with General Lee, keeping his army suit all nice.
I remember you telling this story.
A lot of shit happened there. Like one night, a hurricane came through, and it made it all the way to where we were at. And during that night, something visited each and every bedroom, and it was a green glow. You could almost see a figure of almost a Civil War guy, maybe. But it was greenish. And that was no full of shit thing, because everybody the next morning all come busting out of their bedroom doors saying the same damn thing, describing the same damn thing. So if you got that, you're not lying. That place had lots of shit going on in there. That's one of the ones where I kept seeing the dude checking me out in all the different rooms. It's so weird when you see that shit.
Just so you guys know, like, even for all the viewers, like when you guys ever experience anything supernatural, like a spirit is trying to communicate with you, Andy could tell you, like, what's their intentions? What do you feel? What do you think a spirit's main objective is?
Honestly, I think it depends on the spirit.
But usually it's to let you know that they're there. They just want to be noticed. They do. They want that attention. So
they
a lot
just
of
kind of like
times,
want to be acknowledged for their presence being there.
Yeah, pretty much that's what they do. They just want to be acknowledged. That's why they come through so much. Like whenever you go into a haunted location, like paranormal people, and you're like, can you touch this motion ball? Can you touch this REM pod? Like they'll interact with these people, and that because they just want to be noticed. They want to feel like, oh my God, I'm something. I'm alive, like in a sense. You know what I mean?
So
they
you're
just want to feel
saying
that.
Like they're being included, kind of a
just like
deal.
Here now with us alive, the spirit world has attention whores too.
Yep.
Well, I mean, what person doesn't want to feel seen and heard? So that kind of makes sense.
So Andrea, nothing scary? You don't got no stories?
Oh yeah, she does. Go ahead, talk about the cemetery.
Not like Mark, no.
But tell me about the cemetery situation.
I don't think the cemetery was our scariest.
Well, you tell me your scariest. The toilet?
No.
Toilet?
That was startling.
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me for a couple seconds, but that was about it. I think that the scariest moment I had was definitely in Salem, Massachusetts. And it was like, again, it was nothing like the experiences Marcus had. But when we went past the murder house, just the feelings that I had when I was outside of it, like on the sidewalk outside of that house, it was just horrible. Like it was just immediately my eyes started to water. I was just overwhelmed. It was terrible. And then when we went back to the hotel that night,
Tell me about that story.
I feel like whatever was at the murder house is what kind of followed us back to the hotel. So we went to bed. We were sleeping. I mean, we were in a deep sleep.
We took sleeping pills.
Yeah. We were in a pretty deep sleep. And then in the middle of the night, we heard something just started banging really loud on the closet door and woke us both up.
Jeez.
And at that point, because of the feeling I had, it was overwhelming. So Mark turned the lights on and we just left the lights on for the rest of the night.
We slept with lights.
Does that work?
At the Hawthorne Hotel.
Not really, but it made us feel better.
It makes you feel better.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. That's the thing too. A lot of people ask, they're like, why do people not do investigations during the day? You can. I mean, spirits are always active. They're more active at night. They are because of the fact that they don't like traffic. They don't like people coming in and out and stuff like that. So if you're in a haunted location during a day and there's a lot of people in there, that's why I always tell people, and some people get offended by it, but it's true. If you're doing a paranormal investigation, you have 20 fucking people with you, you're not going to get shit because that's just way too much energy. And the spirits are not going to sit there. They're not dogs and cats. They're not going to go play fetch. You know what I mean? So
No.
The thing is, they do want that attention. They want that interaction with you. But the lesser people, the more evidence you will get. Facts.
Have you had them
Interesting.
drain your batteries on anything?
Oh, okay, that's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Did you-
on the Andy Gavin
Well,
video that we have up, if you watch that, I went down into the basement by myself. And when I was down there, I went down with almost a full camera battery. I was only down there for maybe 5 minutes before my camera was completely dead.
And it was full. Yeah.
And actually,
Nice.
on
She
the
told
spirit
you.
talker,
Yeah,
Hey,
she
Brandon.
told you.
Told her.
Brandon.
Drain battery.
This
Yeah.
yep, on
lady
the spirit
here,
talker app, it actually said drain camera right
Yeah.
before it drained my camera battery.
Wow.
she went to the basement, dude, by herself.
Shut up, Nick. Yeah. I've Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
How about we talk about some of the scary shit that happens in real life, like the scary shit that I've had to deal with actual living human beings for a second there, buddy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Building searches, fucking 35,000 square foot warehouses by my fucking self, contacting 30 fucking people, telling them to kick rocks. Nah, not doing it.
Rocks.
Jesus. I'd rather do that than go live what you just said you lived through for 5 minutes and come back with a drained battery. Oh, God. But in the at the Ritz, I think you were out in the main auditorium, or was it the auditorium? You were somewhere in there, and like your camera had shut itself off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually recording and I had like a whole conversation and I looked, it didn't shut the camera off. I was actually recording on a phone. So it didn't shut the phone off. It just turned the camera off and I had to restart everything.
That's
Well,
crazy.
at the same time, this is very important for anybody that watches that video. When that happens, right when Andy says, it just turned off my camera, you can hear her behind Andy up in the stands going, "It was me." In a disembodied voice. Yeah.
That's
Listen to it.
fantastic.
Turn up the speaker. You'll hear it clear as day.
You know what I always think about, and I wonder, and I don't know what show I was watching, but I remember hearing somewhere people talking about it, and I don't know if it's rare, but horny ghosts, like lustful spirits.
Oh, like in the scary movie.
Well,
Is that a
besides the
real
fact
thing?
that spirits can still be attracted to people, and we've proven that.
Yes, they're attracted to Mark all the time.
Sometimes it happens. Listen.
Well, I mean,
It-
look
it
at him. He
happens.
looks
They
like he's
have taste.
32.
Oh, don't tell him that. I have to live with him.
Don't tell them that.
Spirits are deviant. I mean, they can be. They can do things like that. I thank God I haven't had these experiences, but I've heard stories of people that have had sexual things happened to them from some kind of like an energy and entity or whatever.
If they're
But
gonna
yeah,
fuck
I
with
mean,
me, at least
apparently,
do something pleasant.
yeah, right.
No thanks. I'm good.
Nicholas.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you're laying in bed. It's like, wait, what? Oh, what's that? No, you know. And she even said of it, she goes, "Would you stop it, or is that cheating?"
Oh
That's a
no.
good question. I ain't got no control over that shit.
Oh, good
Oh
Lord.
my goodness.
Oh, crazy
Oh my
stuff.
God. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, me and Brandon would be the type of guys that we'd go get a beer together, buddy.
Let's go.
You're in Cali, aren't you?
Brandon, I don't think you need to go get a beer with Mark because
That'd be fun.
Make sure it's a haunted pub.
he's a magnet.
Not
So
Yeah, I'd bring shit to Brandon's
Well,
place.
I mean,
everyone
the way he's explaining shit, it's like it'll be okay, pal. You're
The
fine,
rotating
right? Like
bar
I
stools
got
and
I
cats
get
that
that.
have Tourette's. That'd be awesome.
You're all good.
You're ridiculous, man.
Dude,
But I
if
just want to
it's
say
a-
real quick to all your listeners, guys, that we were talking about this before, and I just want to mention it again. Definitely 100% from everything we've experienced, there is life after death. So that's not a question that you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is just enjoying your life now while you're in this body. Enjoy your life, do right, do the best you can for friends, family, mankind itself. Don't hold any hate. It's, life is way too short for that.
and know that there's an
when
afterlife. Be right, because you don't want to go in the wrong damn direction.
exactly. So yeah,
Amen
just
to that.
live a good life, because when you do pass this world, you are going to go into the spirit realm, and you're going to be on a plane or go into the light, whatever you want to do. But you will have options. We'll put it that way.
If we have options, I want to haunt the White House.
Oh,
I would like to haunt some
if
people.
you have an option, I hope you haunt Brandon.
Thanks, Mary.
Brandon, I'm going to be tucking
I
your
love you,
feet
buddy.
in bed and everything else.
Oh,
and tearing the
great.
sheets off you.
Great. I still tuck the covers under my heels myself just for pure
And I'll
comfort.
get that shit
wanna-
right out of there. You'll be like, it's Mark.
Great.
I don't want to haunt a man that is better at fathering than me. That's just torture for me. He's a good
Fair.
dude.
Weirdo.
Huh?
I was just teasing with you, by the way, Brandon.
Oh, you know
Love
what?
you, Din Din.
No, thanks. Love you too. Mean it.
In the news, there was a guy who just got arrested here. Going around, he was going to these Joanne Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, and he was dumping his testicles in glitter. Pretty
How
nuts.
does that relate
Yes,
to anything
queen.
paranormal?
That has nothing to
And-
do
and he
with
hung him on a tree
this.
and
That
called him
dude
Christmas
needs to
balls.
put the
Hear what I
bath salts
said?
down.
Pretty nuts, ain't it?
Oh, ha, ha,
Hey,
ha,
it
Nick.
could have been worse.
Wow. I
On
have
that
one
note-
question, one last question that I feel I must ask, because I'm sure there's a listener or 5 out there that are going to be pissed if we don't. I've been holding on to this one for a while. Earlier, you had mentioned apps. And my brain kind of alluded to phone apps. You said there's some that are legit, some that
Yes.
aren't. Me, whenever I think of a phone app to do something like what y'all are doing, right? I think, okay, that with today's technology, that could be something that could be easily faked, right? Like they've got some
Yep.
AI thing, and then it's an automated voice that does a blah, 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 blah. The apps that you're talking about, the ones that actually work, I'll guarantee you there's people out there that want to know. And I kind of want to know too.
I
'cause
will
it's
tell you guys
interesting.
right now. All right, so there's in the paranormal community, there's so much bullshit. I mean, there's people that will sit there and they'll all tell you like, all phone apps don't work. It's all jokes. They're for entertainment purposes only, and all that bullshit. The thing is, what people don't realize is that when these engineers are creating these apps and stuff like that, they'll be liable, so they have to put for entertainment purposes. And it doesn't mean shit. Now, yes, out of 99% of apps, there's probably like maybe 6% that actually are real. So the 3 that we actually use, and like I said, if you want evidence, it's very easy. You talk about the AI thing, right? So if that was so, again, we have communication where we have spirits come through these 3 apps, and talk to us, and then they will do something right after they talk to us. You can't fake that. Like, that's all real. So the 3 apps that you want to use, now there's 3 different types. There's a thing called an Oculus. An Oculus will say the word and it pulls a word from a dictionary and it brings it up. Now these machines, they cost thousands of dollars. You don't need that. Spirit Talker, the one that she uses a lot, $10. And I'm telling you right now, as long as when you get these apps, I'm gonna give you the other 2 in a second, you have to put your phone in airplane mode. It shuts off your location, it shuts off internet. That way you know that anything that comes through is real. All right, you're not getting some kind of computer generated thing, it's done. So Spirit Talker, definitely, if you want to have the words show up and you're doing that kind of communication, you want to be able to read it and hear the voice, that's a great app. Second one, Necrophonic. Necrophonic is like a spirit box. All right, so it's just the same thing as the radio dials and you hear all the voices come through, but it's a little bit cleaner and we get amazing communication through that one. That's my favorite app. Necrometer is more of a different type of ITC. That is where you are literally communicating with one spirit. You're not having 15 or 20 coming in, you have one. But you have to, on that app, Necrometer, you have to put it on robot voice and put only a little teeny bit of reverb and a little bit of echo, because spirits are able to manipulate that a little bit more. Now, the reason that these 3 apps work is because your phones are actually small, amazing, powerful computers. They have cores and sensors. Spirits know how to manipulate that, and they have an easy time of doing that. So that is something that you definitely want to use. That, like I said, out of all the apps, those are the ones we use. Now, GhostTube, we did use that in Gettysburg, and we had a couple things that came through with it, but those are not apps that we use. Amy's Crypt uses them because they make them. And you know, they get good stuff, and we do like Amy's Crypt, and we do like their content, because I do feel that they're genuine in what they do. They don't try to fake stuff like a certain group of kids. Yeah, I think everybody knows who those people are, but I'm not going to name drop.
We're gonna have to ask when we're not on the air.
Yeah, I can tell you everybody that's fake, but yeah, those are your 3 best apps. Anything other than those, I mean, there's different ones. There's one I had where I actually got a pretty good EVP that actually comes out, and the ghost says, and I'll actually let you guys hear it right now. And the ghost actually, this was at the Cashtown Inn in Gettysburg. And when this came in, you're going to hear the very first hello is not me. You'll hear me say hello afterwards. But after he says hello, you're going to hear his boots walking on the ground. Here we go. See if you guys can hear this. Spirits, my name is Mark. That's the wrong one. Hang on. I come in. Is that the one? You're sensitive. I would like. No, that's a different one. Hang on. Sorry, guys.
Okay, we're used to.
Hey, you're good, man.
Let me just find it. Oh, here it is. Hello. Hello. So I'm going to play it again. So the very first hello is not me, and those footsteps are not me. Hello. Hello. And I say hello right after him. So that was an EVP that came through. Now that one was called Ultimate Ghost Detector. I don't ever use that, but I did save that EVP because that was actually phenomenal. But yeah, the main apps that I use, and I can show you guys right now on the screen here, is, let me see if I can get it in the camera. Right there, those 3. And that is Necrometer, Necrophonic, and Spirit Talker.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to link them in the description or something
Yeah,
for
and no,
people
we
that want
have
to go
nothing
do
to do
their
with the
thing.
companies. I know people ask us all the time, like, where do you guys get money from it? No, we don't. And I'm being legit with you. We have so much equipment, and out of everything that we've ever tested, we've never gotten the actual results that we do than with those 3 apps. They're phenomenal.
Wow.
I highly recommend them.
And for all of them, you're putting all of them on the airplane mode that you were talking
always,
about.
yeah, because like if you're gonna do something with regular internet, you can always get fake stuff that comes through,
Yeah.
and that could be like AI generated. When you're in an airplane mode and your locations are off, it doesn't know where you are. You have no accessibility to internet, and whatever that comes through net, you're going to be able to know it's intelligent because it's going to answer you. It's going to answer your questions, and then like you can sit there. What we do a lot in our videos is we'll say, "Can you say Mark and Andy?" We try to get our name confirmations because that can't be faked. We're not sitting there programming these apps. So when they come through and they're saying Mark, Andy, we know that we have an intelligent communication, and then we move on.
That's cool.
Oh, I'm over here. That's crazy. Nick's like, yeah, that's really cool. And Nick's gonna go download those apps right now. I just know he's gonna be messing around with it all night long now.
Yeah, if you need any help, Brandon, just reach out to me and I'll tell you what to do with the settings.
It's
Brandon's
kind of
gone.
funny because a lot of what they're talking about kind of also correlates. We all know each other from an app called Smule. It's a karaoke app.
I know.
And
You know Smule?
Yep.
Are you on Smule?
No, I mean, I used to be a singer, so I'm very well aware of it.
Damn.
You know, we do a little
Oh.
segment called Let's Get Vocal
Yeah.
quite often
Nice.
on here.
We bring singers on here.
Yeah. We get people, they typically it's within the Smule community, right? But even if it's not someone on Smule, maybe it's someone from TikTok, maybe it's someone who's recently released a like a first single or something, like our buddy Chip.
Yeah.
We'll bring them on, we'll play something that they've done, whether it's a cover song or an original, right? Whatever. We're not like, you know, hey, we know we're gonna get hit with a copyright infringement if it's a cover. We don't care.
We don't
It's
give a
not,
shit.
you know, whatever. But yeah, dude, you want to come on back as a vocalist, we'd be glad to have you in that fashion too.
Do so.
That'd be
That's
awesome.
actually where this whole thing came from. We all met on the Smule app because Brandon's in California, Ferris is Louisiana, Mary's Alabama, Ashley's Ohio. All on a stupid Smule app. We sing, we got in groups, and here we are.
This
Real
one right here used
recognize
to be in
real.
chorus, and she won't sing in front of me though.
Aw, you should.
What?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
But did you see the theater where I asked all the ghosts if they want to hear Andy sing, and they all
Yes.
go, no, no,
Yes.
no.
I didn't get that far, I don't think.
That was funny.
Brandon got too scared.
I also think
Dude,
Ed
I got
was getting
like
frustrated with you.
5 minutes or so into it.
Yeah,
And that was
Ed,
about
yes,
it.
he was.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was like, for the third time,
Ed sounded a little pissed.
Yeah, somebody gave us a wrong name. They said that the projectionist was Larry or something.
Larry.
And throughout the whole video, if you watch the whole video, you'll see Ed comes through a lot.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every part of that theater he was coming in.
He was following you around like a little lost puppy dog.
He was like, Ed. Yeah.
Well, you guys, I appreciate y'all coming on here, sticking around as long as you did. We don't usually go, this long of an episode, but I mean, we had so many questions and so many stories. This was a blast. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm sure that we're all going to be coming up with other questions that we didn't think of, right? Would love to have you guys come back.
We would love to come back. Yeah.
I mean, we never even got into like the equipment that you use or anything like that, but would love to have you guys back on the show for sure in the future. You guys are awesome.
You guys ready for Halloween? You guys
don't
dress
leave
up?
the green room right away because I want to exchange numbers.
We do things.
Mary's got to get the phone digits.
All your listeners, if you guys want to go check us out, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Facebook, we post some information there, but all of our videos and content are all on our YouTube, and it's under Spectral Paranormal Investigations. Just look for the Spectre. That's our little
We'll link
character.
all that stuff in the description.
And
y'all can go in the description. It'll take you right to their page.
So for Halloween, we have a special investigation come up. We are going to be returning to Forest Hill Cemetery. The one that we were told demons were surrounding us, and we're going to try to do something spooky there.
You're
was
going to
that
go
the one where
back?
Miss Williams was?
Yeah.
You're going back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Mrs. Williams was there.
Yep, part 2.
I don't know if it would work, if it would mess with you. What would be kind of cool is if they could ever do one, if it was like an evening that we would be recording and they just kind of slip in for a minute while they're doing it on the show?
Nick,
We could do that. I'm sure we can make that happen.
That would be
Brandon's like,
super cool.
no, Nick's like man on the street here.
Nick's over here like, hey, Brandon, this is happening live right now.
I'm
We
not
could
going to be
probably
able
do
to make
something
it
like
tonight,
that.
y'all. I have a work thing.
Yeah, we could
Oh,
do something
man.
like
No,
that.
that would be really cool.
It would be.
We would just have to
Like-
bring the laptop and then set it up on one of the tombstones and then let you guys see what we do there.
Well, we can even
Like I
access it on
said,
the phone. We don't
it's-
have to bring a
yeah.
laptop.
Yeah,
It's
you can do Zoom on
fascinating.
the phone.
Mhm.
It's fascinating. It's intriguing. Scares the shit out of me.
Like I said, we're used to it. It's like a second skin to us, all the paranormal shit.
That's
You do get used
awesome.
to it. It's crazy.
Well, buddy,
Nick, hell of a show,
like,
brother.
subscribe, share, comment, go in the description. There's gonna be lots of stuff in this description.
Do me a favor this time, y'all. When you make your comment, tell us your scary ghost stories. I will personally respond to every single ghost story comment that we get.
And his
I'll make
response
sure
will
of it.
be as such. Nope, 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 nope,
Nope,
nope,
nope,
nope,
nope,
nope,
nope, nope, nope, nope. And with that, that's a wrap. Good show. Y'all be good. Take care. Love you.
Peace.